What was the most challenging aspect of navigating through postpartum depression, and how did you find support during that time?
Oof. If I may say, obviously me being like a male and just even knowing what I was dealing with to begin with, or even knowing I was dealing with something that was out of the normal anyways. And then like as I was stating before earlier, like over time, when you don't see a change or you see changes but they're very drastic, it's not subtle, that's when I was like, yeah, something's up.
Yeah.
You know, and I was saying the mother of my children, she dealt with other things. So at that point, I still had to kind of decipher between was it one thing, another thing, or the next thing.
Right.
So I had to reach out, you know, and like I said, nobody's perfect. So even reaching out and having information doesn't mean you understand. I can tell you that the sky's blue, but you wouldn't know why it is.
Yeah.
So even though the information was given to me initially, I didn't do my research. I didn't do my homework, so I didn't really
understand.
Yeah, I didn't.
But it's
I really
also an
didn't
experience. You gotta learn.
Yeah.
No, of course.
And you were very proactive.
Yeah.
I tried.
Aww, go ahead, Daddy.
This is just no.
Yeah.
But I didn't get it right away. It took a while, and like for me, I just was like, I need to work harder. I need to do more, and that's how it affected me. I'm like, I'm not doing enough, and that wasn't even necessarily emotionally or physically. Like I buried myself in work. There was a point in time I was working 2-3 jobs because you know she expressed to me that she couldn't work, like she couldn't go back to work, and she hated her job. And
that was me. Lord.
Yeah, so
and my daughter's father worked too, and burnt out, and I didn't understand either.
Yeah.
I realized my communication wasn't the best, also, and that fueled us being apart too.
Right.
But now it's like you learn. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know. That's why I say marriage first.
Yeah.
All the time I say marriage first. I didn't get married first, but I say marriage first.
Yeah, because we had to learn.
You learn.
Yeah, we had to definitely learn within our marriage because it was like it was like I said before, like I was going through my postpartum. And he was going through something too.
Yes.
You know, like
and I didn't understand.
Right. He was going
weighing
through
a lot on his shoulder.
And
I was a stay-at-home mom as well. So when you said that he's paying the bills,
knew what it was.
I was like, why? Because
my
daughter's father's a DJ for the club.
Yeah, so he always helped.
Oh, and excited to leave too. And
Excited to leave.
Excited. We would get dressed and I'll be here with the baby and I'll be like, I know. And I just had to chuck it up and let him make ends meet for us, and let alone, and that's where the argument started because it was hard.
No, yeah, because a lot of times, like us as women, we're
we
almost
don't
seeing
understand
it like
either.
because one thing I can definitely say that I realized from my husband's perspective. When we, as women, we say when we go to the hospital, we're like, oh, you know, it was so hard for us to have the baby, and it was all this and this. But we don't realize that our partners actually go through something too. They go through a trauma of I don't know if I'm gonna have my wife back or my baby mother back
who's this baby
or
that's
anything.
coming into our life.
But even just more so, like my husband, he was very scared that I wasn't gonna come out of the emergency room. And even though I was scared too, but I wasn't expressing that. I was just asking God to help me. Yeah. But he really was very scared and. It was hard for him. Yeah, so, he didn't know because
you gonna have more babies, girl. You gonna have more. You gonna have your girl. You go ahead.
Would you say it was him though? Would you say it was him that helped you kind of like realize that that's like you had the postpartum depression? Was it him?
So it was because so like even when we were in the hospital, like I was saying,
or
right?
rather
like,
dealing with it.
He basically was the one that helped me through the whole process because I was very scared. I was very scared. I didn't know he was scared too. We didn't talk about it until after that I found out that he was scared as well. And I told him, I said, yeah, I was very scared. I thought I was gonna die. Like I never did nothing like that before. It was very scary. So he was like, well, I felt the same way, but I had to be strong for you. So if you feel that way, I can't feel that way too. That we both gonna be a brat doing it. And I'm not gonna lie, I had my baby. My first one, 15 minutes. My second one, I had 5 minutes. No lie, because I
pushed him right out.
I pushed him right out. And the first one, I pulled out.
How long were you in labor for?
I was in labor for.
You pulled the baby out?
Yes, my first son, I pulled him out.
Did you take epidural?
For my first one, yes, I took epidural, but it doesn't work. Like anesthetics don't work on me, so I still felt the pain. My second son, I didn't. Cause it was just like he was ready. He was like, yeah, I'm coming out. We're not doing this. So yeah, I had. So he just came out. I was like, yeah, hello, I'm here. But yeah, so it was very scary for me, and for him to see me in that much pain, he was just like, oh my God, like this is so bad. What can I do to help her and things like that. So they do go through. Y'all do go through y'all own scares and y'all own trauma.
Yeah.
Like seeing that.
It's true. My daughter, the nurse, I remember he was looking at what I'm going through. She's like, encourage her, push her, tell her she's doing great.
Yeah.
I was like, you're doing great. My
husband, he doesn't like blood, but he was under there, like, like helping to do everything. But yeah, so, but what was the question that you asked me?
Well, no, basically what the question I was asked was like, who kind of helped you
get through the
to get through,
or
so
like,
realize.
So make me
recognize that you
realize.
even
raise it that you've been had it. Did he help you understand?
Because I was saying, was it your husband who kind of helped you?
Help me, yeah, kind of, because he was the one that kind of like said like certain things to me, like, oh, like, like I remember, not like in like a negative way, because obviously you're not the same person that you was a year ago, and you shouldn't expect your partner to be the same person they was a year ago. You gotta understand that you gotta grow with them. Yeah, so
and then children come along. You're
right,
not
you're not the same. I'm not
your
the same
patience
person.
is different.
Yes, a lot of things change, even friendships. We get into that.
Oh my God, that's another thing I have. Oh girl, yes.
We gonna get into
I know.
but yeah, like it was definitely him, because he was just more so like, like, oh, you used to love this and you used to love that. Like I loved anime. There was a point where I just didn't want to watch anime at all. I don't know what happened. Like it was my safe space. It was my happy place. Playing video games was my safe place. It was my happy place. So one day he was just like, like, why? What's going on? Like, why don't you want to do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't have the feeling to do it. I just don't want to.
Have the urge,
Right. So then one day I looked it up and I was just like, so why don't I like these things anymore? And then they were like, maybe postpartum, because like I was explaining, and I seen it in a Reddit, right? Yeah. And I had seen it in Reddit, and I was like, oh, is that what it is? And I was like so hurt, because I was like, damn, like I thought I was just growing up from it, but no, it was actually because
growing up. I was growing up. I thought I was like, yes, I'm becoming an adult with that.
Because I was going through postpartum, and then one day I told him, I told him one day I was like, yeah, like, because he'll tell me every time I would get dressed, because I told you when I was in the house, I didn't get dressed, I didn't do my hair, I didn't do nothing. No, when we would go out, I would always make sure to smell good, look good, always. So he would just be like, like, why don't you do this more? And I'm just like,
I'm trying to get some of that in the crib.
Right, like, why are you only going outside? Right. And I'm just like,
I'm not with
I don't know, like, I just don't feel the need to. I'm with the baby all day. He's like, oh,
and then you need to be dated and get out.
Right.
Yeah, and they didn't understand
that either. So that was another thing, but he was very understanding when it came to certain things. So it's just like, when it came to, like I said, like me not getting dressed and stuff like that, he kind of just compromised with it. He was just like, all right, I mean, she cooks. I mean, she take care of the baby. Like, she lets me have my time and stuff like that. So it's cool. But the good thing about him is that he also takes charge. So he'll come in, he'll feed the baby. He used to change diapers. Yeah, like he would give them baths. Like even now, like he washes their hair, I do their hair. We have a partnership, but that's all stuff we have to learn.
My daughter's father does that too.
Yeah, we have to learn that.
That's his girl.
And also, I had to put my foot down, because let me tell you something. Then I was gonna do that. If I would have just did everything, oh no, y'all would have let.
No, you gotta learn how to do it.
Unless you was like, let me just do it. But if you don't put it, I used to be like, when he would come home from work, I would be like, I cook. Can you wash the dishes? At first he used to pout and stuff. Then he finally started. Then he started cooking. Then he started cleaning, and then now we here where we are now. Yes, so you have to gradually put it in,
and
but you
that's
cannot.
part of your marriage.
Exactly.
Too.
So now we're at a better space where we are very like, what's balanced?
Good communication.
Very good communication, with transparency. Everything is there. So, but I'm not saying that it was easy.
No, you had to.
You had to go through some roads.
Yeah.
Not
give up. Not give up.
Yeah, exactly. You don't give up.
But not give up. Yeah.
Right. So that was like my main thing. But yeah. So